Mr. B-Matt. Wonder why the... There we go. We need to get these video things set up a little bit better. There you go. Look at you.
Ready to roll?
Almost.
All right. Got my Rivals hat on. Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm actually wearing technically a Liverpool jersey here myself.
Nice.
It's Stevie Gerrard. Although, yuck. I hate to hear that feedback. All right, I think we're pretty good now, B-Matt.
Testing. How do I sound?
I think you sound wonderful. That's just my opinion.
Great.
As far as things we need to discuss today, and hello to our streamers. How you doing? We're getting ready for the show here. Talk a little bit about Avery Jernigan. The bunker seems a little skeptical of him, B-Matt.
Yeah, they're stupid.
They seem skeptical because they think that he doesn't maybe look quite the part at this point. What do you think about that?
Look the part. Look on his film if you want to see what an offensive lineman is supposed to look like, because that's Avery Jernigan.
Well, if you're looking like Prince Tega at that age, he doesn't necessarily look like Prince Tega, maybe. Body composition.
Prince Tega was like 230 pounds at that age.
Yeah, but he was kind of a Greek god, remember?
I remember.
I don't know as though Avery Jernigan's a Greek god, but maybe that's not what it takes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's more to it.
Most offensive linemen that we've seen at Auburn aren't exactly the prettiest mofos in the world.
Speak for yourself, bro.
I'm just saying.
There's been some fine young men that have come through, I'm sure.
That ain't all muscle, all that 300-plus pounds they got to put on.
What are you saying?
I'm saying they got to get 300 any way possible.
All right. I didn't know you were an expert on this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I was getting the show ready. We'll talk about Avery Jernigan. We'll also talk your piece that's on the front page of Auburn Sports right now about the energy provider, Mr. Judd Ward, who we expect to play left field and also to bat leadoff, and your thoughts about what he can do to help the team this year. That's pretty important. You also have a projected lineup, which includes Mr. Will Holland and Mr. Edouard Julian.
Yep. Non-all conference players.
I don't know how that happened.
I really don't either.
Very strange. And then I think we need to go back over Auburn's loss to the hated Bayou Bengals from LSU. Kind of a weird game, B-Matt.
Yeah, but it's the same story every time they go on the road just about now.
Yeah, you're right. They got to get over that, bro.
Yeah.
Because the NCAA tournament ain't played in Auburn.
No, it's not.
So something's got to be handled. I also have some good shout-outs. AU Civil making fun of me for being in a midlife crisis. And then also AUBT, who coined the phrase, and I thought this was wonderful. He coined the phrase the Puss Posse, P-O-S-S-Y.
Oh, boy.
Which is his name for the people that basically get snowflaked out by the things that he says. Look, man, I'm not the world's biggest AUBT fan, a.k.a. Mutter. I'm not. I think he's annoying. And I think there's other people who do a better job at that genre of trolling. But it was funny that everybody just got hooked by him in that thread. And he was ragging on Avery Jernigan, I think, in kind of a joking way. Anyway, I thought that was worth mentioning. Did you have any shout-outs, B-Matt?
I do not. I'm afraid I
You know what? You always tell people how much you love the bunker, and then you don't ever have any shout-outs.
Yeah, I know. I'm letting them down. My bad. I could just give, like all-time shout-outs, but that would be boring.
That's kind of what Jay Lee did the other day.
I know. I was listening to Rundown.
He's like, Jay Head, man, great job. Like, yeah, I mean, he does a great job.
He does do a great job.
Hi-yo! Hello again, and welcome to the AuburnSports.com Rundown presented by Voodoo Wing Company. This right here, this very show, is your favorite podcast for all things Auburn. Today is February 11th in the year of 2019. I said 18 on the last show. Look, man, when you've seen a lot of years change over like I have, 46 of them indeed, sometimes you get the years wrong. It happens sometimes.
51, bro.
Well, you're a little bit older than me. I'm not. Yes, that's what you tell me, because you seem younger than me, Brian.
Thanks.
Sure, buddy. You're staying so young and sprite.
Yeah.
Anyhow, as I mentioned, today is February 11th, and this is going to be episode number 367 of this fine program. And we are currently 2 days away from Auburn's encounter with the hated Ole Miss Rebels inside the Auburn Arena. That's going to be Wednesday night, 7:30 tip, B-Matt. on the SEC network. Another late tip. We love those, of course.
Not exactly.
My name is Jay Tate. I am publisher of AuburnSports.com, and I'm joined as always by Mr. Brian Matthews, capital B, capital M, our ace team reporter, and a man who everyone from Auburn all the way to Opelika knows is a doer of many things. What up, B-Matt?
Well, let's see. I was at baseball practice yesterday for a little bit. Got to talk to Butch and some players. But other than that, most of the weekend I just sat lying around because I wasn't feeling too well. But I'm much better now. I've overcome this sickness, and I'm back in good health.
You got down with the sickness, huh?
Mm-hmm. A little bit.
Do you know that song, Down with the Sickness by Disturbed?
Probably not.
Might be a little rough for you considering you listen to Marshall Tucker Band.
I do love some Marshall Tucker Band.
I know you do.
I heard it in a love song. I don't know if you knew that.
I heard you play that one time, and I was like, sounds like
good
something
stuff,
my dad would
man.
listen
That's good Southern rock, my friend. Good Southern rock.
That one song's terrific. Of course.
You got some other good ones.
Something else that's terrific is Voodoo Wing Company, Brian Matthews. You know it's terrific because you've eaten there so many times that every time you sit there and you rub your belly and you say, man, do I love me some Voodoo Wings.
I do that, actually.
I've heard it come out of your mouth many times. You can get the traditional wings or the boneless wings. That's why you're going to Voodoo. They're going to come out piping hot. They're going to be crispy. They're going to be meaty. They're going to be juicy. And they're going to be lathered, if you choose, one of their signature sauces, including the Cajun Ranch that I love, the Voodoo that B-Matt loves, the Hot that Jeffrey Lee loves. And Ben's kind of a free agent. He changes flavors as the days go on. You can also get the Sidewinder fries, the fried pickles, the potato salad, and, of course, B-Matt's favorite, the Nanner pudding.
Yeah, I heard y'all trying to say that the Nanner pudding wasn't the best dessert there on the rundown this weekend. I was disappointed, both you and Jeffrey.
I'm sorry to have disappointed you there, sir.
Yeah. It is the best.
That is never what I want to do, is disappoint you. But I do like the key lime a little bit. Comes in a little cup. It's more like a key lime mousse. It's got some graham cracker crust there in the bottom, and it is muy delicioso. If you're into bananas, that's cool. Brian?
I am, yes.
You can put that in your mouth and enjoy the heck out of it after a delicious, satisfying meal at Voodoo Wing Company. Jeffrey and I choose to put key lime pie in our mouths. Anyway, Voodoo Wing Company can be found in person on College Street, 0.3 of a mile north of the interstate off I-85 in Auburn. It's just north of where the Supper Club once stood, where Jeffrey Lee was once thrown into a trash can, and he damn well deserved it. You can check them out on the internets at their website, voodoowingco.com. Brian Matthews, things to discuss today. Auburn's latest commitment to its 2020 class, a young man by the name of Avery Jernigan, had himself a weekend. He performed at the MVP camp in Valdosta, Georgia, and he performed quite well, garnering top overall performer honors. And I wonder if this will quell some of the bunker debate about whether this guy is worth taking this early in the recruiting cycle. Your thoughts?
Well, I think it will, because he's probably going to move up to a 4-star. And that's what a lot of people look at and make their initial decision over, even though he's a 3-star now. I just think this is a guy that's moving up. All you have to do is pop in his junior film, and you'll see a guy that's really athletic and really finishes blocks. And, I think he's a young man, because he's going to be an early enrollee, can come in and compete for immediate time and maybe even start as a true freshman at Auburn.
Oh, my.
I think he's that talented.
Offensive linemen have a hard time doing that, man.
Well, two things. He's good, and Auburn does not have anybody coming back next year that is going to have starting experience unless there's an injury or something happens.
He's pretty good. He is, at this point, he's 6'3", 290 pounds. He is he's not necessarily the fittest guy you've ever seen. I was talking to B-Matt before the show began that, when we saw Prince Tega at this age, he was much thinner than he is now. But Prince Tega just had that long and lean thing. Jack Driscoll's kind of that way, and then Avery Jernigan's a little heavier maybe, but he's doing that for a reason, right? You can't be thin and play offensive line, so
got to have a good base.
You sound like Hugh Null now.
Yeah.
Anyway, Avery Jernigan had himself a nice day, and I think everyone here at AuburnSports.com thinks he will be a 4-star in time. A young man from Pierce County, Georgia. So there you go. Wanted to let everybody know about that. Brian Matthews also has a story on the front page of AuburnSports.com this morning, which he put up, and it's about Judd Ward, the outfielder at Auburn. I believe he's a sophomore now. And the idea, B-Matt, is that he's going to be batting leadoff this year. and he's going to add a lot. Their table setting for guys like Will Holland and Edward Julian. Your thoughts about his development, how valuable he can be this year?
He could be really valuable. Starts defensively. He's got one of the best arms over there in left field. Got some pretty good range too, so he'll be a bonus out there. And he's also one of the team's hardest workers. You know, he's been that way since he showed up as a true freshman. He was sort of outshone by, Auburn's 4 freshman All-Americans last year.
Yeah.
But, he's coming on. Butch called him the team's most improved player so far during preseason. So I think that's a big plus. And I would expect him, if he can, do what he's doing now and take it over into the games, to be a real important table setter for this team. And a guy, if he can get on base, he's going to score a ton of runs with those big bats behind him.
Lots of big sticks behind him. Will Holland, Stephen Williams, Edward Julian, as mentioned. Tell me about Rankin Woley.
Rankin Woley, former LSU player, put up just incredible stats at a JUCO last season. I think it was around 40 extra base hits, hit close to 400. So we'll see how that goes. He was a little banged up and missed fall practice, but he's healthy now, and he's going to DH or play third. I think him and Edward are going to split third, and Rankin can also play some first over there with Connor Davis, so they'll probably rotate all 3 around. But he should be a big part of this year's team.
Do you think what do you think the personality of this team is going to be, Matt? Talking about the Auburn Tigers, the fighting Butch Thompsons. They did a lot of things well last year. They came within 1 game of going to the College World Series. What do you think the personality is going to be? Slugging, scoring, pitching?
They're going to hit a bunch of home runs. They're going to have a lot of power up and down the lineup, especially if a guy like Connor Davis, a junior who's been with Butch all 3 years, see if he can maybe take that next step. You've got a really talented freshman in Ryan Bliss playing second base. He's capable of hitting, 7 or 8 home runs, even though he's a smaller guy, and, maybe 15 or 16 doubles. Kason Howell's another gap guy with a lot of speed. They're a freshman who plays center field. So this team has a lot of power and a lot more pitching depth than it's had before. It doesn't have that, first-round draft pick like Casey Mize was. Well, at least first overall pick. They may have a first-round draft pick, and Davis Daniel, we'll see. But definitely have more depth up and down the lineup. You'll see him use more pitchers, have more versatility, and you're going to see a lot of different guys pitch the first 2 weeks of the season until he settles into a more regular rotation.
We'll talk more about the ball club coming up on their season opener, which is going to be this weekend. I think they're playing Georgia Southern. I was looking for it in the story. I didn't see it, but it's in here.
That's right.
Georgia Southern. Yep. So we'll see these Auburn Tigers. We'll see what they've got. I personally am of the opinion that pound for pound, outside of Greg Williams, who is the equestrian coach, I think Butch is the best coach Auburn has under its employ, pound for pound.
I agree.
I think the guy's an absolute stud. I can't argue with the equestrian coach winning natties, but I think Butch is going to get Auburn into a very, very good place. Heck, you could argue he's already there. I mean, he's pulled it out of the doldrums that it's been in for the last 15 years, ever since Hal left. And Hal was on campus this past weekend.
Yeah, they had a big preseason get-together with Hal, and Coach Madison was there also. Just a ton of great stories and a terrific time, and had a big turnout for that. I just think with the ticket sales setting a new record for the number of season tickets, over 2,000 for the first time, this program is really on the rise.
Yeah, Butch is badass. And I think Alan Green was wise to just kind of realize very quickly that Butch was a badass and do everything possible to ensure that Butch stays. And I think that's going to happen.
Yep. Facility upgrades coming as soon as the season's over, too.
Right. So they're doing what they got to do. And it's really all that Butch – he is a very low-drama coach from a – if you're going to manage him as a boss, he's very low drama. So if you just kind of give him the basics and you show him love and you support him, he's good.
Yep.
Some of these coaches need to be coddled and reinforced and told they're the greatest. He doesn't need to hear that. I guess he hears that from his wifey, but he doesn't need people to kind of sit around and massage his ego because he doesn't really have a big one. He just kind of goes with it.
Nope, and he wants to lean on his staff and pump those guys up and, let other people do their jobs and not try to be one of those micromanagers.
Another coach who is not a micromanager is Bruce Pearl. But he had kind of a difficult weekend, Brian Matthews, in some ways. The Auburn Tigers went on the road to play a very good and hot and in-form LSU team, and they lost that game 83-78. That was down at the PMAC in Baton Rouge, a game that I thought Auburn would have a chance to win, and they did late. But it was a weird game insofar, Brian, as they got out-rebounded by a ridiculous margin. I have it here on my notes as 47-35.
Yep.
I had to look this up, but apparently LSU really did get 22 offensive rebounds. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for the game, really. I mean, they just destroyed Auburn on the boards. They had 29 second chance points compared to Auburn's 1. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
1. It's hard to score just 1 point, too, B-Matt?
Yeah, yeah, it is. And, reading your game wrap, I thought you're dead on where you said Auburn sort of lost control of the game, that they were just playing out of control at times with those turnovers. Really costly.
Yeah, if you watch the game, you know what we're talking about. So they got super hot in the first half, and they were leading by 16. And I think to the person who has not watched a lot of Auburn basketball, they're like, "What? We got this, yo! This game's over." And those of us who watch them a lot are like, "No, it's not going to happen that way," because they tend to, particularly on the road, when they get up big, they just kind of lose their way. And it's like they keep trying to push the pace faster and faster and faster, and finally gets to a point where it's not sustainable. They start turning the ball over left and right. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. 19 turnovers, Brian Matthews.
Yeah, that's not good. Jared had 5, which is not what you want from a veteran point guard. He's got to be more in control at times. He's a great player, and he's an important reason why Auburn was in that game and was able to come back late and make a run there. But still, those 5 turnovers and just the way he controls the team, that's really harmful. And he didn't get much help from Javon McCormick when he came off the bench either.
He did not. Some of the guys that are role players that helped them a little bit here and there and everywhere had horrendous games, like truly, truly terrible games. Javon was an absolute 0 in that game. Austin Wiley was an absolute 0 in that game. Malik did not have a good game. Let's talk about Wiley just for a minute. We were thinking he was going to get 2 shifts, maybe 10-ish minutes, something like that. He ended up only getting 1 shift. He played 3 minutes, had 3 fouls, no points, no rebounds.
And a turnover. Yeah, I think Pearl saw how he played, and that was it. He wasn't going in again. So I don't really know how to explain it, but he's just not an impactful player right now, especially when he's not 100% healthy.
I know he gets out of form so fast because, right before this injury, and it was only like 2 weeks ago, I thought he was playing pretty good basketball. They don't go to him enough when he's in form, but he will defensive rebound like a mad dog, and he will swat shots around at least. And now when they don't have that, and he won't play, he gives you 3 minutes and he really does nothing, they get the hell beat out of him on the boards.
He can't defend on the perimeter either. He doesn't use his feet properly.
Well,
and that was a tough matchup against LSU's big man, who's really good out there on the perimeter. He can hit those threes. And some other things I noticed, Auburn's 3 position, the small forward, whatever you want to call it, continues to be a really sore point on the road. Dowdy and Dunbar combined for 7 points and 4 rebounds and 1 assist and 4 turnovers. Dowdy did have 3 steals, which was good, but that's just not enough production. Auburn got a lot of production out of that position, especially scoring wise, last year.
Oh, here he goes.
And they're just not getting it right now, and that's something that's got to change somehow. So I don't know if Purifoy's the answer. As you mentioned in your game wrap, defensively he's still an issue. So if he could ever solve that and be more consistent, he could be the answer, I think. But, Auburn's sort of in a tough position there at the 3.
Yeah, they are. And it's weird. That's a spot where you think you can go out and find dudes to play 3. Even average teams and bad teams can find production at 3. That's just a spot where you can get dudes. And they might have some shortcomings. Maybe they're terrible defenders. Maybe they won't rebound. But you can get dudes out there that can fill it up. And they're not doing that. They can fill that bag up. I don't know if y'all saw that video. So Samir was a guy, and I'm pretty sure I've talked about this on the show. I know I've talked about it on the bunker. I was wrong about Samir. I watched him last year running the scout team, and I understand it's a scout team. JG, what do you think about the scout team? I know it was kind of fake, and he wasn't really playing, but he was a commanding presence when he was playing on that scout team.
He was.
He was driving to the hole. He was finishing at the hole. Yep. I was like, this dude, I'm not saying he's Mustafa, but I thought he could do things to help assuage the fact that Mustafa was gone. And Samir,
I thought he'd be an upgrade, to be honest. Yeah,
he's not been good. He doesn't drive to the hole.
Yeah,
He's a decent three-point shooter, but he's been really cold these last, let's say, 4 games. He's a great free throw shooter, but he doesn't get to the hole, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I mean, he's a good kid, too. I don't want to rag on him or anything. It's just not happening right now. Another thing I want to point out, Anthony McLemore had 2 rebounds in that game.
That's just it's impossible.
That's unacceptable. Chuma Okeke had 14, by the way, in case you didn't notice.
Yeah, he was playing hard.
He really was. And how he can have 14 and Matt can have 2 and Spencer only has 5. Those guys got to rebound better. Those guys are, Spencer's a senior. Anthony's a junior. They've been in Auburn's weight program for 3 or 4 years. They've been in this league for a while. They got to be better rebounders than they are right now.
I mean, Spencer gives you 5 rebounds in 16 minutes. It's not great, but it's okay. But McLemore, 2 rebounds in 21 minutes is just bogus. And I didn't necessarily agree with the way they were using Ant. They obviously like to try to start these games, giving Ant some shots from 3, and I understand that. They're trying to pull those bigs out of the lane because Auburn knew it was going to have trouble rebounding. So, hey, let's get Nas Reed out or Bigby Williams out to have to cover Ant. I get it. But he ends up taking 7 threes, dude. And I think that's too much for him. It's almost like trying to use him as a primary guy. He shoots 7 threes, Bryce shoots 7 threes, and Harper shoots 8. I don't think Ant is on their level when it comes to shooting threes. And Pearl will say, hey, it's a strategy thing. Yeah, I know, but I think that's pushing it too much. He ended up 3 of 7, so it's not like it was a total waste, but I just don't. No. I don't think that's a good gamble, and he's got to get more than 2 rebounds.
The other thing I would like to add, and I've noticed this just on my own, is sometimes, or maybe a lot of times, when Jared Harper drives, and he's really good at driving, he'll be in the lane, and those 2 wings will stay behind the 3-point line. They will not, they will not drive into the basket, and that leaves Jared Harper having to make a really, really tough pass out to the wings for those guys to hit a 3, or to throw up a contested, layup, which he can do successfully sometimes. But those guys, at least one of them needs to be driving toward the lane so Jared can lay it off for a layup or a dunk, or they can get an easy putback. I mean, both those wings don't need to be standing outside the 3-point line and just standing around watching.
Yeah, I don't think it's good either. I mean, they don't have without Wiley, they don't have a number 1 rebounder really. So you got to get in there and help.
Yep.
I'm surprised. You'll see Bruce complain about it, and then you see what happens. Just like you mentioned, they stay outside too much. I understand you want to give Jared an outlet. If he gets down there in the lane, he has nowhere to go. He can kick it out. But
that's a hard pass out to the 3-point line when you're driving toward the basket.
I know, and he really likes going to his left. It's kind of weird. He's a right-handed player, but he likes going to his left, and these teams are kind of figuring him out a little bit, overplaying him to the left and making him drive right. He's a little less effective that way. Another thing I want to mention, because this is a big bunker thing. Now, the bunker's not very happy with Samir Dowdy. I understand why. The idea is, hey, mods, why don't they change the starter at small forward? So let's talk through this, B-Matt. If you bench Samir and turn him into a reserve, you're going to have to promote either D'Angelo or Malik are going to have to be the small forward. Tell me what you like and what you don't like about those 2 guys.
Well, for one, Dunbar brings a lot of energy. I think he will rebound better from that position. And if he's hot, he can score better from that position because he can light up the 3 ball. The problem with Malik is he tends to turn the ball over more and lose control offensively when he tries to drive and do different things. And he tends to foul a lot more and get in foul trouble really quickly. That's why, to me, he just seems like he's a guy to come off the bench and provide energy. That's a good job for him to do, and he's done it well. And, we talked about Purefoy. He certainly answers a lot of questions offensively, potentially. But the question is, can he be a full-time defensive player and rebounder?
Yeah, I don't know. The other night, he has 8 points on 3 of 5 shooting. No criticisms there. But he finishes with 1 rebound in 10 minutes. Yep. And he's got to give you more than that. And Pearl mentioned that on his postgame. So I know it frustrates him as well. I mean, D'Angelo's just not really a banger, right? He's kind of a finesse player.
Yeah. And I think overall this team is just a little bit too soft. I'm not meaning to be mean about that. I just think they are. I just don't think there's enough tough guys on this team.
Yeah, tough
guys.
There
are some, but there's just not enough.
I mean, Malik's a tough guy. Talk about it. Malik's a tough guy, for sure. I would say Horace is a tough guy. 2 reserves.
Right. And I would say that Bryce Brown is, in some ways, a tough guy. He plays so hard all the time, right?
he'll give you hell, but I don't know as though he's going to go in there and get you dirty work, you know?
Right. And I would say that Jared Harper's a tough guy for his size, the way he plays.
Yeah, but he just gets bullied, man. He's such a little guy, and it's just a matchup problem every time. The bunker was just mystified by this game the other day, and they were like, how do we not have more length and more size? And I'm like, he would like to have that at 5 particularly. With Wiley out, it hurts. But I don't know as though Bruce will ever accentuate length the way that LSU is, or Will Wade is going to at LSU. He wants to push the tempo, and he wants guys that shoot and get out in transition. I don't know as though he's necessarily that worried about it. I mean, I think Wayne Chisholm would have been the perfect center. I think he was the perfect center for him at Tennessee. He'd love to go find a Wayne Chisholm. Nas Reed is about as close as you'll get to that. LSU center.
Yeah.
But
he just needs some more bangers. And, you may have a couple of guys like Jalen Williams coming in who will be that guy, a guy who can maybe get you double-digit rebounds a little bit more at the 3 position.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
And Chuma, I want to mention Chuma, had a big game. 12 points, 14 boards.
Yeah.
That's
strong.
He doesn't mind going in there and mixing it up a little bit. And that's kind of new for him because I don't think it comes naturally to him to be that guy. I think he has to really think about being more assertive on the court. So, anyway, the Auburn Tigers, that was a tough one, 83-78. They are now 5-5 in league play, and they're going to resume league play Wednesday night against Ole Miss, which is not playing its best basketball anymore. Remember, they were really hot to open the season, and they actually beat Auburn early, but they have lost. They lost 4 in a row at one point. They have beaten A&M and Georgia here lately, but, yeah, big deal. They lost 4
I will
in a
say
row.
this. Auburn's got to win this game.
Well, they got to stay on at home, yeah.
Right. I mean, they can't afford to, play poorly at home and drop a game to Ole Miss. This is a game they've got to win.
You look at this next stretch has got to be a good one for them. Home against Ole Miss, on the road at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's not been very good. At home against Arkansas, and then you got away at Kentucky, which is kind of a grab bag. You just have to see what happens on that. But
that's a chance for 3 straight wins, including one on the road.
Got to have that. I mean, if you're going to try to solidify your NCAA tournament resume, this is where you need to shine right here. You need to put these teams away, and you worry about Kentucky and Tennessee when you get there.
Yeah,
that's the way I look at it.
Well, Tennessee may have already clinched by then. We'll see. The way they're playing right now, who's going to beat them?
Yeah, Tennessee's mighty, mighty good. They got a great 3, which Auburn does not have right now. I think they would definitely trade for Grant Williams if they could.
Yeah.
No, there's no doubt. We really like what he's doing. All right, some shout-outs, B-Matt, here at the tail end of the show. I mentioned you before the show. You didn't have any, which is very sad. I know you love the bunker.
Sad. I do love the bunker.
I have a few. Our guy, #NoHuddle, was back with a thread. Beham Iron, we out here. He updated it with the final score. He said, Lego, bruh. 3 p.m. on CBS. Them 205 boys finna dominate. #4John, bruh. LMAO, we lit.
What?
It's because the Iron was playing to a victory yesterday. And, of course, #NoHuddle was very enthused about it.
I can't decide whether I want to support the Iron or just be an Iron hater.
Why would you be an Iron hater?
Why not?
Because are you a Georgia boy at heart?
Not really, no. But, I mean, somebody's got to step up and hate these fools.
Listen, man.
I mean, come on. It's just one of those fake leagues that's just not going to be around after 2 or 3 years.
Stop with that. I don't like
the Birmingham Stallion, the Birmingham. I mean, how many Birmingham teams do I have to name that have come and gone?
Why are you such a hater, man? Why don't you support something good going on in our state? Shutout victory. Trevon
did they win by
playing?
shutout? Well, good for them. Well, I do support Trevon Reed, absolutely.
Yes, of course you do. Because everybody loves Trevon. Good dude.
Hell yeah.
I don't know about Trent Richardson, but you got to support Trevon.
Sure.
Saw a picture on the Snaptagram yesterday of Carnell talking to, was it Trent? I don't remember who it was. Carnell was at the game.
No.
He was a coach there before Gus Malzahn plucked him.
Right. Yes.
Plucked him from the...
Stole him away from the professional ranks.
Another funny thread, and I know some people are going to moan and groan about this, but this is a thread started by AUBT. And AUBT is absolutely a jerk. Okay? We're not even arguing this. But some of the stuff he says is funny. Starts the thread, why is everyone excited about a 3-star, 6'3" OG commit for 2020? Obviously, he wants to bang on Avery Jernigan. He wants to bang on JB Grimes, and, it's been played out, whatever. AU Family 82 takes the bait. He says, I don't know. AUBT apparently is very wealthy with a large ding-dong and a hot wife. I don't know what that makes a person, but he sure as hell likes to flap his mouth about it. AUBT comes back and says, so I post that I'm rich and I have a big dick and I brag that I have a hot wife all the time. Pretty sure I don't do all those things, though they are true. The handful of you in the puss posse keep trying to call me names and cut me down, though. First of all, posse spelled P-O-S-S-Y. And also cut down? Then I hadn't heard that idiom since at least mid-'80s. People used to say, stop cutting me down. My granddad used to say that. And I was like, what? That's not even he had to look that up or something. Like idioms, like old antiquated idioms that I can infuse in a conversation and seem hip and cool. I think that's what he did right there. Anyway, he finishes off by talking about the complete mama's basement bums that you are. I don't know if that's a shout out or a shout down, but I really did laugh at Puss Posse because I know exactly what he's talking about there. Some of the guys do get a little bit highly defensive for no reason. Would you agree, B-Matt?
Yeah, they get their Jimmy's rustled sometimes.
A little bit sometimes. AU Civil starts a thread. This screams midlife crisis. You can see that here on the page. It's actually about me. It's a picture of, it's my Twitter picture, which is me at a Steel Panther concert, partying, living my best life. Steel Panther, by the way, is a very profane and outrageously sexual rock band. Like all their songs are about bad stuff that you probably don't want to listen to. And it was kind of funny. I've changed my Twitter picture to that in like September, so I guess he's a little slow picking that up. 49 Minutes to Midnight said, is that the name of their band? Mike CB22 says, my God, at the Photoshop possibilities. Oh, it gets better. Effin' Tiger says, needless to say, the shirt didn't go over as well as planned. My shirt says, I love hot moms. He says, Taylor Swifties have no patience for dads cruising. I realize Effin' Tiger does not know anything about Steel Panther because of this statement. If you're looking for Taylor Swift fans, like a Steel Panther concert would be probably the last place you'd go outside of like a Ministry concert or Corrosion of Conformity or Bring Me the Horizon or Disturbed, which Brian does not listen to. There are no Taylor Swift chicks.
I don't know any of these.
At a Black Panther, Steel Panther concert. They're just not there. So if you think I was out there trying to cruise for chicks, you're wrong. That's definitely a sausage fest at a Steel Panther concert. I mean, if you're listening to like basically profane Poison, what you're listening to. Anyway, some people don't get it. Goateed Tiger does. He says, I too am a fan of MILFs. Thank you for your support. The bunker's always a fun time. Even when they're making fun of me, I don't mind. I deserve it.
We can take it. We got thick skin, man.
I know what kind of hair I have. I understand that. I understand that some of you guys don't get it. It's fine. It's fine. I get it. Do I have anything else to discuss? What do we got, B-Man? Any more housekeeping items?
No, I think we covered it, bud.
Okay. Well, we sure do love the bunker. It's a lot of fun. I do want to give a shout-out to our friends at Voodoo Wing Company. Jenna, Jan, Michael, Marge, the whole crew do an awesome job. If you haven't been there, you need to go. It's delicious. It's clean. It's fresh. It tastes great. And you're going to have a good time there. Also, to our friends at Lynch Toyota of Auburn, if you're in the market for a new or used Toyota, check them out for sure. They're a little bit south of the interstate off of College Street in the West Pace Auto Mall by the new courtyard over there. And I think it's called Blue. I think it's like a new Hilton property over there. Anyway. And also to our awesome subscribers, thank you for supporting what we do here at auburnsports.com. We couldn't do it without you. We love you guys. God bless you guys for sticking with us all these years. And we very much appreciate you staying here and doing what you do, which is listening and commenting and reading our stuff. If you're not a subscriber at auburnsports.com, you need to be. $8.25 a month gets you access to the greatest message board in the history of the internet, plus all the great stuff that BMAT, Benny Wolk, and Jeffrey Lee provide, and Chad Simmons, our outstanding Southeast ace analyst, who is like, I don't know how he does this, but he's like in 5 different places every day, and he's pretty amazing that way.
He is amazing.
So, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you for listening to our show. We'll be back, I don't know when we'll be back, here in a day or two, and we'll discuss things. As we usually do. Until
After
then,
the basketball game?
Maybe, but God, that's so far off, Brian. Wednesday night. Isn't there something we can do before then?
Possibly, yes.
Can we talk about Gus? We can talk about me and Christy a little bit. Until then, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Oh, yeah.
We got to 30 minutes on that, B-Matt.
That's not bad. That was a shorty.
Nope. It was a shorty.
Sometimes you just got to, hop on, hop off quickly. You don't have time to mess around.
We were starting a little bit late for those of you streaming because I cut my cat cut my ear, yo. I was playing with my wife's cat, and he cut my ear. And I didn't really realize that he had done that, and then I felt something dribbling down my ear.
I was playing with my wife's cat would be a great start to a bunker thread, by the way, Jeffrey. JJ.
Well, either way.
Yeah, either way. For Jeffrey, it really would be the start of a great thread.
There's no doubt. Jeffrey Lee's head in the gutter. All right, well, we're going to wrap it up there as I talk about playing with my wife's cat. We'll just leave it for that. We'll be back at some point. I don't want to wait till Wednesday. That's a long way away, B-Matt. But we may have to do that. I don't know. We'll go ahead and sign off then. Thanks for watching our show, and we'll have that up on the podcast. I don't know why you want to listen to it again, but you can. We'll have that up on the bunker here by 10 o'clock at the latest. Until then, be good, y'all. Word.
Peace.